think that if I ever get rich, not rich, but if I ever become a successful filmmaker, which is the plan, I think one franchise I really want to reboot and try to tackle is Pirates of Dark Water. Now, for all my '90s kids out there, well, I think only my '90s kids even know about this show. But Pirates of Dark Water, man, that show was fantastic, and they canceled it way too early. They canceled it basically after dude got the seventh treasure. Now, for those who don't know who Pirates of Dark Water is, it's a show about pirates getting the 13 treasures of rule. Fantastic cartoon, man. This cartoon was great. It was a great cartoon. Like, it was literally like one of my favorite cartoons, possibly of all time. But yeah, Cartoon Network canceled that shit, and they never had any plans to bring it back. It is what it is. But yeah, Pirates of Dark Water. If we get a chance to reboot that, for sure. Like as a Netflix series, bruh. That's like on the goal list. One of my favorite franchises of all time, for sure. Anyways, I'm back. I took a week off from doing the live thing, just to give you guys some time to breathe. But I'm back again with another live video. The point of the videos is so I can convince you guys to give me money for my movie, The Bond, which is a movie that I'm putting together as my first featurette. I have a wonderful team that I'm building. I'm very, very excited about this film. So in order to make this film the best that it could possibly be, I'm asking y'all to throw in a couple bucks on the film. Shout out to everybody who has so far. I really appreciate you guys. Quick shout outs to people who have, actually most of them have been private donations, so I actually really can't say who it is. But those who have been sending money to me via Cash App or Venmo or Zelle or PayPal, you guys are fucking awesome. I love each and every one of you. For real, you guys are just great. So thank you for that. But you can also use the GoFundMe link. That's more of the aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? You click on that, you see we got money. People like that. People like to see you be a part of something that we're building. So that's what that is. So that's the point of these videos, basically. Once again, last time, thanks for donating. Really, really appreciate it. Today we are smoking on, what are we smoking on? Candy cream from Jars, Metro Man. It's an indica, which is rare for me. I actually don't really smoke indicas that often, but to be honest, I'm kind of stressed right now because it's been one of those weeks. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get this movie developed off the ground, doing all that, and it's just a lot. So I got some indica to help calm down the nerves a little bit. But we all good. It's all love. So let's get into today's show. I want to talk about 50 Cent, because you motherfuckers out there are really upset at this man for stating his opinion, which is fucking obvious. Come on now. At the end of the day, dude, money, at least in this country, money trumps race. I'll say this again. Money trumps race. Trump is being used as a pun, obviously. But at the end of the day, there's like a point in time where in the perception of the average person, and even socialites and rich people, you make a certain amount of money, your blackness matters less to certain people. It's always going to matter to whoever. But to certain people, your blackness only matters. Really just depends on how much money you have in your pocket. This is what I was saying on my Facebook earlier. Very first post I made this morning was about how Trump himself isn't explicitly a racist. And when I say this, I mean that Trump isn't waking up like, fuck Negroes. You know what I'm saying? He's not doing that. Like, but as a sociopath and a narcissist and a billionaire, his intentions align with his pockets and his money. Because of this, and because of how America's set up, that tends to mean that black people and Latinos and Native Americans and everybody else tend to get screwed by this man because of the policies he does, the laws he passes, the things that he does in his businesses. It's less about, I hate black people. It's more about, like, I hate poor people. And most of the poor people I hate are black. Proof of this is just look at the history of hip hop. You know that Donald Trump is over here, or used to be, hanging out with Puff Daddy and all these. And Puff Daddy's a big example, but literally all the rappers from the mid '90s all the way up to the mid 2000s wanted to be Donald Trump. They wanted to be rich. They wanted to be in that tier where their skin color mattered less. 50 Cent's a prime example of that. 50 Cent, you know, started from the bottom, now we here, right? He's one of the richest rappers that we know, allegedly, whatever. But the point is that he made a certain amount of money where he is no longer considering himself a impoverished black person. He's now rich elite. So of course he's going to align his money, his ideals with Trump, because at the end of the day, Trump is his boy. And it's fucked up because obviously the disparity between race and money is so clear in this country, and 50 Cent's a fucking idiot for being like, oh, well, you know, he might hate black people, but, you know, my bag. It is what it is. But the fact that people are shocked by that, like, oh, what are you doing, 50? It's like, dude, he's always been about his money. Always. Since day one. So it's not really surprising that he's going to line himself for the guy who's going to line his pockets, despite how shitty that person may be. It's a shitty situation, but it is what it is. But what's funny is that these same motherfuckers who are sitting here talking shit about 50 Cent are the same dudes who were talking shit about Ice Cube, saying that Ice Cube's selling out. When Ice Cube went across the table to both parties and tried to make things happen for the sake of his people and the skin color, he didn't do it for the bag. Because if Ice Cube was going to do it for the bag, he obviously would just go with Trump, right? But Trump was the one who went out to him, reached out to him. Now, that part, fucky, because of the fact that, you know, the Republican Party is looking for any opportunities to exploit black lives right now and black votes, as are the Democrats. They both are. Democrats is a lot easier because Democrats have celebrities on their side. They have the typical mental mentality of that black people are Democrats, so they kind of have that advantage. So Republicans, you know, they're going to hop on any chance they get. Ice Cube coming to the table, sure, we're going to take that, right? Because we don't have a lot of black people voting for us over here. So if we can get someone like Ice Cube on our team, then we're going to do that. And that's kind of how I see it. Ice Cube spun it like, oh, well, they were the ones who responded back. And it's like, of course they fucking did, because they need more black people on their team. And you're black as fuck. And you're like Ice Cube. And a lot of black people look up to you. So the fact that he was like, oh, no, the Democrats put me on the side and they sidelined me, and the Republicans took me. And it's like, yeah, of course Republicans fucking took you, because they're going to use you as a chess piece, which is what you've been seeing. It's all psychological warfare, and they're using our skin color as a weapon. And what's happening with all these dumb rappers is that, you know, it's funny because Diddy, he started his own political party, wherever exactly that means, and he endorsed Biden, which is a surprise, because although I don't think Diddy was going to align himself with Trump, I do think that if anything, Diddy would have probably pushed forward his own candidate. But honestly, all that's sus too, because how are you going to make a political party fucking 18 days before the election, bro? Like, what are you doing? What is you doing? What is you doing, man? Like, that should have been up last year. And you should have had a candidate that you could have pushed forward with your political party that we could have been fucking voting for right now. Diddy. Goofy. It feels goofy. And he did the same shit when he did the vote or die thing. It just felt very last minute and contrived and not exactly like legit. It is what it is. The point is, though, is that these motherfuckers don't care about your skin color. They care about your money. They care about your, because at the end of the day, in this fucking country, money is the reason why this whole country works, right? Capitalism and all that bullshit. So the more money you have, the more chances you have to have influence in this country, I guess, if you see it that way. You don't really see a lot of poor people having influence, right? They're out there, but you don't really see that happen very often. Money is influence. 50 Cent, being the guy that he wants to be, wants more influence. And the way he sees it, he just wants to keep his money because he feels that money is going to get him that influence instead of doing shit for his community. But honestly, that's a different discussion. I'm not here to rip into 50 Cent. More so talk about how there is a hypocrisy going on here. If we're going to talk about 50 Cent, we got to talk about every black Republican, potentially, that could be on that side, right? And most of them are quiet. Look at all your favorite rappers, right? Most of them are silent right now. There's a reason behind that. Because of the fucking money. Yeah, Biden's tax plan is going to be taxing the fuck out of them when they get elected. And the last thing that these dudes want is to have their X amount of dollars taxed every year. That's more important to them than black lives. Not saying that Biden is the choice for black lives, just saying that they see that connect because they understand that money's more important than skin color in this country. It's a really fucked up scenario, but it is what it is, and that's where we're at. That's where we're at. It's what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I wrong? Whatever. I don't really care. This is just my opinion. I know most of you motherfuckers are here because you want to hear my Dylon story, don't you? Yesterday I made a post. Hold on. Yesterday I made a post. It was a meme, actually, that I shared. Talk about how, the realest rapper, the best real rapper of all time is Dylon. And it's funny because, and I really hate this story, but this is the story. All right, this is the story. Flashback to 2008. I think it was 2008, maybe 2007. Doesn't really matter. Anyways, I was offered a record deal with an independent label. I'm not going to say the name of this independent label because fuck them. But this independent label reached out to me. We had to sit down, yada, yada, yada. We shot the shit. They gave me a 50-50 deal. They also were like, oh, well, we're a new label, and we mostly actually focus on EDM artists and pop artists, and this is our first time kind of diving into the hip-hop world. And we see you as being our flagship artist. Like, we really want you to be, like, the leader, or, like, the face of our label as a flagship artist, trying to, get the label popping. And for me, I was like, dope. And, like, basically they were like, oh, we'll see how this first album goes. We really want to build a relationship with you. If this album goes well, we'll give you a budget for the next one. We have a lot of big plans, yada, yada, yada. So for me, I'm like, okay, dope. This is going to be super dope because, I want to be signed on a record label, and I want a record label to really care about what the fuck I'm trying to do. So that happened, right? I'm like, all right, bet. Let's sign this. Let's do this. So I signed the record contract. It literally the same day I go home, and I get a call from my ex, and she tells me that she's pregnant. And she's like, oh, right, I'm having a baby. It's probably yours, because I'm not doing out here doing stuff. And I'm like, oh. Now, at the time, she lived in Phoenix. I was living in Tucson at this time. I had come home super excited. Like, I had dreams. I'm like, I'm about to move to L.A. I'm about to go do this. I'm about to go do that. Ba, ba, ba. Kata. Like, I had a whole, like, vision quest in my head after signing this contract. And so, after I got this news that, I was about to have this baby, I'm like, oh, fuck. Damn. Damn. So I had to make a pretty big choice, and honestly, it was like one of the biggest choices I've ever made in my life, which comes down to, do I continue to pursue this record contract wholeheartedly, move to LA, go do that, or do I move to Phoenix and go be a dad and try to figure out the music thing on the back end? Obviously, I chose the second choice because I'm not a dick. Hear from my kid. He's over there eating ice cream in the other room. So I chose my kid. Because I made this decision, I was like, I had to reach out to the label. I was like, look, I'm still down to work with y'all. Like, I'm still down to, release this album through you guys and use your resources. But I don't think I'm going to be readily available to be your flagship artist. Because I want to focus on my kid. I just know how this shit works. I'm just not going to be available to you guys in the capacity that you need me in to do the shit that you want me to do. And they were like, okay, cool. We'll get back to you. I didn't hear back from them. I finished the album, and literally I didn't hear back from them for maybe I think it was 6 or 7, maybe 8 months, maybe even close to a year. It was a long time. Like, Josiah was born when I heard back from them, and they hit me up and they're like, yo, man, I submitted the album to them that November, I think. And they hit me back. They're like, oh, man, this album's great. Really excited to release it, yada, yada, yada. And at this time, I had, acclimated myself to my new life. You know what I'm saying? I found a flow. You know what I'm saying? I got used to it. And so I was like, yo, I'm actually interested in maybe taking that flagship offer if you still have it on the table, and they're all like, I don't know about that guy. We actually kind of went in a different direction. You see, we actually brought on a couple of new artists, and we feel like we're gonna probably push them as our flagships. And I'm like, oh, cool. Cool. I mean, I felt some type of way about it, but I understand it. Like, I'm not gonna be mad about it and be like, oh, right. So it was what. So I gave them the album, hung up with them after I got the phone with them, and I'm like, see, the thing was that they didn't tell me who the artist was that they picked up. But they said they picked up like 3 artists, right? And one of them was pretty big. That's what they said. They said we picked up this pretty big artist, and he's gonna probably end up being our flagship artist. And I'm like, okay, whatever, man, it's cool. Like, I didn't really stress it. I didn't ask who the artist was. And honestly, the fact that the label went ghost on me for like a whole year almost, I was like, whatever, I don't really fucking care. Like, I had already signed the contract. You all can take this album. Let's just do it. Whatever. So after I got off the phone with them, I had sat down and thought about it. I was like, yo, what? Who is this artist that they signed? Like, cause I'm pretty dope, but I'm also like I'm a Tucson kid, right? Like, I get it. Like, I understand that. Like, the fact that they're even trying to make me the flagship hip hop artist was a major fucking deal for me as an independent artist from Tucson, Arizona, for Christ's sake. So for me, I was like, okay, so whoever they got, obviously had, you know, more clout than me and more all that, so it makes more sense. So I hop on their website. And the very first thing I see on the website, the very first fucking thing I see on this website is Dylon. Dylon's fucking face, sitting there smoking a cigar, and in big old letters, independent record label signs Dylon Dillinger as new artist. And I'm just like, bro, you guys signed. And this is how I knew that I had made the mistake of signing with this label, because they literally signed one of the biggest laughing stocks in the history of hip hop when it comes to Dylon. We all know the meme. Top 5 favorite artists, Dylon. You know the meme. That fucking Dylon from Making the Band. Bro, like, when I went on this website, I saw this dude's face, and I realized that my slot was taken by Dylon from Making the Band. I was just like, bro, I felt embarrassed. I felt fucking embarrassed, because I was like, dude, like, because like I said, one, it made me feel that I wasn't as good as Dylon, who I think is fucking terrible. And 2, the fact that the label even considered signing this man as a flagship fucking artist. Like, this dude was going to somehow take their record label to the next fucking level. Dylon Dillinger from Making the Band was going to take your record label to the next level. Bro. I was like, it was literally just like mad embarrassment. And honestly, I haven't really talked about this with a lot of people because of this reason. Like, it was really embarrassing. I was embarrassed as fuck. And like, what ended up happening was that I gave them the album. They still own 50% of this album. It's my debut album, Black Sun Rising. The label themselves is defunct. They're not even around anymore. They went under maybe like 4 or 5 months after I dropped my album. But they still own the rights via contract, which is really frustrating. But it's like a big lesson that I learned, where I was like, man, I'm probably never gonna sign a record deal again. Even if it's like, it has to be like a beautiful record deal. But then also, you also need to kind of check who else they're fucking with, because you know, you don't want to be on a record label with like Russ unless you ratchet Russ sound. And that's the thing about it, like, they were an EDM label at first. Like, they focused mostly on EDM artists, and a lot of their artists were actually like overseas, like UK artists, right? Like, they weren't really focusing on American artists. So it really was just like these dudes from America these dudes from England who were just trying to like get it popping in American hip hop. And I don't even know, I mean, I know how they found me, but like, it just seems like they were so out of touch with what was going on that they signed fucking Dylon. Not only did they sign fucking Dylon, they signed him as the flagship artist, with the idea that this dude, who was literally one of the biggest laughing stocks in the history of hip hop. I can't think of anybody who is more made fun of as a rapper. They put the label on that dude's back and kicked me out of the slot because I had a kid. They're like, nah, fuck this dude. He's having a baby. Nah, let's get Dylon. What? Dog, that hurt. It hurt. It cut deep. That's why I didn't really talk about this story a lot. This shit happened like what? It was 2008. That shit happened 12 years ago. And I still think about that shit. That shit fucking really bothered me, man. And it made me jaded. It's one of those things that I'm just releasing now because someone asked me like why, like I have a story to tell and all that. So I figure I let people know the story. But yeah, man, Dylon. Me and him were on the same label at one point. And what was funny because when I saw that, right, like I was like, damn, okay, Dylon making the band. But for me, I always look for the silver lining. So I was like, okay, I could work with this. And there was a point in time for like a hot second where I was considering reaching out to him for a collab and doing a song together. I was gonna be like, yo, man, we're on this label together, let's get it popping. I was about to do that, and I'm really glad I did not, because I think if I did that, if I ended up doing a song with Dylon, I think it would have been like, it would have been career suicide, honestly. And I think that I dodged the bullet with that one, basically. And what's funny is that, like, I looked at they had signed, like, I don't know, maybe like 6 rappers besides Dylon, and I checked them out, and they were all really great. Like they did a good job of like looking for the right rappers. But it's funny because they signed Dylon solely off of the fact that off of his tarnished name. It wasn't because of the music. It wasn't like Dylon was out here fucking dropping mad singles, or was like the hot artist of the week, or was on the double XL freshman list or any of that shit. Nah, he was fucking doing absolutely nothing at the time. And they reached out to him, and he's like, yeah, sure. And what's funny too is that like I wonder what his contract was, because as I said at the top of this video, my contract was a 50-50 deal. So it was pretty good. Like, we split it down the middle. I only ever got one check from them. It was a very small check. I want to say it was maybe like $200 something bucks, something like that. I never saw any money from them ever again. But I wonder if they gave Dylon an advance, because he is so prestigious. Anyways, the whole point of this video is fuck Dylon. That's the short of it. I wanted to tell that story because people were asking me about it after I made that post yesterday. I'm like, yeah, there's a story there. I got a little story to tell on that. So yeah, that's the story. I appreciate you guys listening to my Dylon story. Like I said, that shit haunts me every single day. Every single day. Like, I think about that shit all the time. Anyways, we got comments. Let's see. Levi says, that would have been embarrassing. I don't know what that we were referring to. Oh, am I reading this backwards? I don't even know. These comments, they're popping up weird. Oh, you should find someone to do a Dylon impression and drop a What If single. Honestly, I could probably reach out to him. I think he's pretty accessible. Like, he's not like fucking J. Cole, right? Like, he's not over here like getting millions of fucking messages in his inbox. I guarantee that I could probably reach out to him on Instagram and be like, hey, bro, we run the same label. Can we do a song? I just would never do that. I'm not going to do a song with fucking Dylon. Come on now. Top 5? I would call it top 5, though. Who's the top 5? Top 5. It is me. Yo, alive. Something like that. It'd be tight. But, yeah, I think about that a lot, though, where it's like, if I had really collabed with Dylon, that would have been, bro, there would be no way I would have been able to spin that into like a positive situation for my career. It just would have been a sheer bit of embarrassment. But it is what it is. Dylon collab would have been embarrassing, but not being replaced by him. I don't know. I think that both were pretty equally embarrassing. See, like the thing about the being replaced by him aspect of it is the fact that like most people don't know, right? Because like it's not like this was like Def Jam, right? This was like a really small record label. So the only people who really knew about this was me and the record label, and then the people who happened to visit the record label and followed the thread. Because they never gave me, I mean, they gave me my own profile on the website and stuff like that, but I was never like front page, like, you know what I'm saying? It was just like my little page, a little profile. So yeah, no one really knew about it. I just think that it'd be like a situation where it's like, if someone, like, if I had dropped Black Sun Rising and it blew up, and then people looked it up and they'd be like, wait, he's on the same label with Dylon? That's kind of how I felt, where it'd be embarrassing. Like, and then yeah, if you're right, if I did a song with him, that would have been, psh, psh. No, that's fucking nuts. Fucking nuts. Yeah, that's one of my secret stories I have. I have plenty of secret stories in this industry stories that I have. That's one of them. Maybe I'll make more videos talking about it. But that was one I really wanted to tell you guys because, like I said, people were hitting me up after I posted that Dylon meme yesterday. I had a story to tell on that. And honestly, like, I'm not even really knocking Dylon like that because at the end of the day, he's probably just doing his fucking thing, man, living his best life, trying to be happy. Who am I, right? Like, right? It is what it is. It's just funny because, he is one of the most memed rappers of all time, mocked constantly. So there's that part, and I'm glad I dodged that bullet. And that was the story, people. Yeah. Anyways, I don't think I have anything else on the agenda besides donate to my fucking film. Help me make this movie. I brought on Sabrina Reed, who is an amazing artist, set designer. She's a production designer for theater. Really good people in general. She came out to me and was like, hey, can I help you with this movie? And I'm like, fuck yes. Fuck yes. Like a blessing that she decided to hop on this film. And so, because she's so dope, we need more money to make her dopeness doper. So, if you like my stories that I told you in all these videos I do, hop on that little link right there in the caption section. Whether it's here or there or there or there, it kind of depends on what you're watching this on. You click on that, it's going to go to a GoFundMe page. I'm working on my rap hands right now, which is why you see the hands going right now. Because, I'm going to be shooting some music videos here soon, so I'm making sure that my rap hands are tight. Anyways, but if you click on the link, you get a trailer to my film. The trailer that we shot is not the film. I need to make sure I state this to people because every time I show people this trailer, they're like, when is the movie coming out? And I'm like, we haven't even shot this shit yet. And they're like, what do you mean I just watched a trailer for it? Well, my guys and gals and others, we shot this trailer as a concept to raise money. We have a script now. Script is done. Well, yes, it's done enough. So basically, I wrote the script based off of what we shot in this trailer. And after talking with some of the cast on ideas and stuff. So that is basically what it is. Like, so the trailer itself is just a trailer. It's not some of the shots, actually none of the shots in the trailer will wind up in the final movie. Although we will be reshooting some of those scenes in the trailer for the movie, if that makes any sense. And I'm going to have to keep explaining this to people because, like I said, every time I show people the trailer, they're like, oh, dog, when's it coming out? I'm like, dog, we won't know yet because we haven't shot it yet. With that in mind, I am looking for a summer 2021 release. I want to be done shooting this film by mid-December. I want to have it edited and in the can by February. And then from there, it would be just a matter of marketing and finding the right way to distribute it. Which, honestly, we're probably going to wind up just throwing it up on a website and selling it for $5 or $10 or whatever for a limited period of time before we go to the big channels like the Amazon Primes and Netflixes and shit like that. That's the plan in my head. But in order for that to happen, we need more money. Because I am a broke, struggling artist. Meaning that while I do get the bag and I be getting it popping, I don't be gotten money to be making a film. And one thing that my mentors have taught me in this industry is that if you're going to make a film, one of the best ways to do it is not to use your own fucking money if you can avoid it. Ask your people. Do crowdfunding, ask your friends and family, look for investors, etc., so forth. Not only is it good for your film and your crew, but it also makes your film more interesting for people who are looking to watch it because now you have multiple eyes on it. If I were to do this film all by myself, y'all probably wouldn't give a fuck, right? But the fact that you guys are seeing money go into it, you're seeing the trailers, you're seeing the people working, you're seeing the photos, we're developing something, right? We're creating an energy around this that I can't do by myself. No matter how dope I fucking think I am, I can't do this by myself. This is a team effort. And in order to make sure that we make this a team effort, I got to take care of the team. I got to feed them. I got to make sure they look good in the wardrobe. I got to get them cool swords and guns and shit. I got to get them vests. I got to do it all. And that's basically the plan. So, as I said before, I appreciate you guys for the ones who've already funded. Appreciate y'all. If you haven't yet, think about it. Mull it over. If you can't fucking drop any money, share the link. Do that. We're also working on an Amazon wish list per request of a few people because people have a psychological block on giving me money. They said that they would rather buy me shit based on the list. So I'm putting together a wish list of the stuff that we need for the film, and I probably will drop that here later in the week, and it includes some of the stuff I haven't gotten yet with the budget money, stuff like tarps. What else I have on there? Just stuff. I don't know. It's a long list. So look for that. With that said, I'm going to get the fuck out of here. I don't know when the next live stream video is going to be, because the whole point of this right now, I'm going to try and keep you on your toes. You motherfuckers thought that I was dropping videos every morning, and you guys were watching them every morning, and I switched it up on you, and I was like, ha! And I did it every night for a week, and then last week, I didn't do any at all. Yeah, motherfucker. So now, I'm bouncing around. I might do a live stream immediately after this one. I'm not going to do that. But I might do one in the morning, maybe in the afternoon. I'm trying to keep these random because this is not a live stream show. This isn't the Jaron Ikner show. This isn't morning motivation. This is more like a stream of thought, me saying things, speaking my mind. With that said, I appreciate you listening to my story about Dylon taking my spot, my thoughts on 50 Cent, and the Bond. Thanks for watching, guys. See you later.